You can probably guess from my thumbnail what I'm going to talk about today. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to tell many of young people don't think about enough saving money for the future. These days many of us think I am earning money today, I will worry about the future later. But what if we start think differently? Even if you are earning only a small amount, how can you save some of it? How can you control your unnecessary spending? And how can you slowly build a better financial future? You look at someone who is financially successful and thought they already had money, they had opportunities. What can someone like me do? If you ever had that thought, I want you to listen to this carefully. Building wealth doesn't always begin with lot of money. Sometimes it begins with a decision, the decision to stop worrying only about what you have today and start thinking about what you can build for tomorrow. And let's be realistic, there is no magic formula that will make you rich overnight. It takes time, patience, learning, and consistent decision. The first thing you need to understand is that earning money and building wealth are two different things. You can earn a good income and still struggle financially if you spend everything you make. At the same time, someone with a smaller income can gradually stronger by managing their money carefully. So if you are starting with very little, don't ask yourself how can become rich quickly. How can I become financially stronger than I was last year? That question gives you something you can actually work toward. The next step is to improve your ability to earn. If your income is very low, saving a tiny amount may not be enough to make a big difference. So you also need to think about how you can increase your earning potential. You first need to understand what is happening in the market, and it is also important to have strong communication skills. So you should focus on learning and improving yourself in this area so you can grow and perform better over time. Learn a useful skill, improve your communications, and learn something that people or businesses are willing to pay for. So you don't have to learn everything at once. Choose one useful skill and become better at it. And remember, you don't need to wait until you earn a huge amount of money before learning how to manage it. Start with what you have today. If you earn a small income, learn how to manage that income properly. And when your income grows in the future, you will already have the habit of manage more money. One of the biggest mistakes people make is increasing their spending every time their income increases. They get a better salary and immediately they invest their money in more shopping, more eating out, and more expensive lifestyle. There is nothing wrong with enjoying your money, but if every increase in income immediately becomes an increase in spending, you may never create enough space to build wealth. Try to create a gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is where your financial future can begin to grow. And another important step is saving. You should try to build an emergency fund so that an unexpected expense doesn't completely destroy your finances. So life can surprise us, a sudden expense, a period without work, or an unexpected responsibility can happen at any time. Having savings can give you some breathing room. And remember, saving money isn't about impressing anyone. Nobody needs to know how much you have saved. You are saving for your own security and your own future. And once you have a basic financial foundation, you can start learning about investing. But please don't invest your money just because someone suggests you that if you do this, you will be rich, overnight. It's not like that. Understand what you are investing in. Learn about the risk. Never assume that high returns are guaranteed. And don't put money into something you don't understand simply because you are afraid of missing out. Building wealth is usually about patience, not excitement. Another thing you need to be careful about is unnecessary debt. Some forms of borrowing can have legitimate purposes, but high cost debt can make it much harder to build financial security. Before taking on debt, understand how much you will actually have to repay. And don't borrow money simply to look successful in front of other people, because there is a big difference between looking rich and actually building wealth. Someone can have an expensive car and a luxurious lifestyle, but very little financial security. Another person may live quietly, spend carefully, save consistently, and gradually build assets. You don't have to look wealthy, you need to become financially stronger. And you also don't have to depend on only one way of improving your financial situations. Your main job may be your biggest source of income, and that is completely fine. But over time, you can explore other legitimate opportunities based on your skills. Maybe you can freelance, you can teach something you are good at. You can start your own small business, and also you can develop another skill that create additional income. You don't have to do 10 things at the same time. Start with one and try to learn it, try to improve it, see whether it works, and if it doesn't work, learn from the experience and try again. Another important part of building wealth is controlling your emotions around money. Sometimes we spend because we are stressed, and sometimes we buy things because everyone else has them. Sometimes we make financial decisions because we are afraid of missing an opportunity. But wealth building requires patience. You need to be able to say, I don't need this right now. You need to be able to wait. You need to think about the difference between something you want today and something that can actually help your future. And don't compare your financial journey with someone else. Today you can open your phone and see people showing expensive cars and beautiful house and luxurious lifestyles. You may start thinking everyone is ahead of me, but you don't know the complete story behind what you see. You don't know their financial situations, their struggles, their responsibility, how long it took them to get there. Your journey is your journey. You don't need to become wealthy at the same age as someone else. You just need to keep improving your own situations. And finally, don't underestimate the power of time. You don't need to become rich this year. You need to start developing habits that can make your financial life stronger over the next 5, 10, 20 years. Small improvements can become meaningful when you stay consistent for a long time. So, if you are starting with almost nothing, don't be ashamed of where you are. Maybe you don't have much money today. That is your starting point. So, it is not your final destination. Start by understanding your money, increase your earning potential, and save consistently. And try to learn about investing carefully. You don't need to become rich overnight. You need to become better with money, one decision at a time. So, if you are watching this and thinking, I have nothing, how can I ever build wealth? Start with what you do have. You have your time, your skills, if you are willingness to learn, because wealth doesn't always begin with money. Sometimes it begins with a mindset that says, I may not have much today, but I'm going to build something for tomorrow. And there is where your journey can begin. Thank you so much for watching. If this message help you, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.